In a meritocracy, there is no room for political power. That's why many people on the left despise them. I'm going to show you two clips that explain this theory further. The first one from Victor Davis Hanson.
There's a third thing that we were warned about antiquity, and that's the danger of tribalism. When you read a historian like Thucydides, they always start with the idea that a pre-civilization, pre-modern society has no meritocracy. You hire your first cousin, or your general appearance is essential, not incidental to who you are. And the tribe then is the enemy of progress, it's the enemy of meritocracy. I think to every country in the Middle East except Iran, when I talk to people, journalists there, they always say something. It's a constant refrain. The reason that things don't work here is because we hire our first cousin, and we don't hire the most capable person, because we judge people by their blood ties or their superficial appearance. We had been fighting with a legacy of slavery and Jim Crow in the South. We're now in 50 years since the Civil Rights Movement and affirmative action, and we were starting to realize Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of the content of our character rather than this color of our skin, and we've gone back 50 years with this woke movement.
And this dovetails with a lot of the thinking of Jordan Peterson that got popularized in the last couple of years. Listen to one of his lectures on meritocracy and equality and equity and how those three concepts relate, and how you cannot have an equity-driven society and a meritocracy at the same time, and how if you forgo the meritocracy, you suffer the consequences.
You hear the egalitarian clarion call everywhere. Everything should be equal. Everything should be equally distributed. We should strive for equity. It's like, wrong. Especially if you're a conservative. Wrong. What we want are just hierarchies of competence. Not everyone's a neurosurgeon. You know, if your father has a brain tumor, you probably want a hierarchy of competence for neurosurgeons, so you can pick the one that's the best, so that he might not die. That's what a hierarchy of competence is for. For the postmodernists, there's no hierarchy that isn't based on power. Well, because they think the world runs on power. And that's why they're willing to use power to get what they want, because it's the only thing they believe in. But a valid hierarchy of competence, it's, God, we need those things, man. We need the best plumbers. We need the best contractors. We need the best carpenters. We need the best lecturers. There has to be a hierarchy of quality, not only so that we know who the best are and can reward them properly, but so that we can reward them so they keep being the best. It's like, you know, if you have a great educator, if you have a great leader, if you have a great thinker, you want to reward them so they keep thinking and they keep educating so they can tell you something. It's not a reward for their intrinsic being. It's a calculated move on your part to suck everything out of them that's valuable as fast as you can. That's what a hierarchy of competence is for. And the idea that hierarchies of competence don't exist it's so cynical. It's such a pathologically cynical idea. And it's actually quite patently untrue, because here's an interesting tidbit from the psychological literature. Let's say you want to determine what the best predictors are for lifetime success in a Western society. Well, what would you hope for? How about intelligence? There'd be a good one. Let's hope the smart people occupy more positions of complexity, right? Because they're smarter. Would you want it any other way? Okay, and that's great. The number one predictor of accomplishment in Western societies is intelligence. So that means the system works. What's the number two predictor? Conscientiousness. Well, what's that? It's a trait marker for hard work. So who gets ahead? Smart people who work hard.